Welcome back. The 2024 election is here. Mail-in ballots should start hitting people's mailboxes in the coming days, and we are just a few weeks away from the start of early voting. But we have yet to see many debates among candidates here in Florida. Rick Scott still has not agreed to debate his Democratic opponent, Debbie Murkazell-Powell, and the race for Congressional District 27. CBS Miami has offered to host a debate between Republican Maria Elvira Salazar and her Democratic opponent, Lucia Baez-Geller. We have not heard back from Salazar, but look at that. Lucia Baez-Geller is here.
I'm here.
So let me just sort of put it to you. Would you be willing to come on and debate your opponent, Maria Elvira Salazar?
Absolutely. Just tell me the time, the place, the date. I'm here. So
why do you think, has she agreed to debate you anywhere?
We have not heard anything. I mean, I think her voting record, and she has a lot to defend herself with, and it's going to be a tough battle. So I can't imagine that there's an appetite for that, but I'm ready because I am absolutely here to talk about the issues of today. I'm somebody that has been now in this community my entire life, and I have been working hand in hand with people in this district to get their children ahead as an educator first and then as a school board member. And so my track record of 20 years of public service is ready to go and ready to be held up against hers, and I'm ready for the time and the date.
You see, I'm surprised because, you know, I got her on the phone like a month and a half ago. She said she promised to call me back, and I haven't heard from her since. She found out I wanted to offer a debate. We sent a formal debate invitation, and she just hasn't accepted. I'm still hoping she'll come through. I mean, she, as a former member of the media, she knows how important forums like this are, and I think the voters have a right to see both candidates side by side discussing the issues. So let's talk about some of those issues. I know that we've talked before about the importance of reproductive rights in this race. You know, obviously, you've had your own story to tell with regard to this. When you're out there, you know, campaigning, I would imagine reproductive rights for women and the economy are the two big issues you hear about. Let's start with reproductive rights. How important an issue is this in this race?
Yeah, it's really important, Jim. As you know, right now we're living under some of the toughest times in Florida with our 6-week ban into effect. And there are women that are being told to wait out in parking lots until they bleed out before they get medical care. There are doctors that are being stopped from doing their oath and their duty, and they're being criminalized for providing women health care. So this is a situation that we're under right now. And so for me personally, it's very important. Also, many people in District 27 come from backgrounds where there was government intervention in the day-to-day lives. There was oppressive governments. My father fleeing communism in Cuba. This is the type of leadership that the Republican Party is giving to us, and we need change. We need people that are going to stand up and use their vote to look for change, because a year and a half ago, I was able to get the care and medical care that I needed after a very wanted pregnancy that unfortunately did not go the right way. And so I find it absolutely absurd that a year and a half later, for absolutely no reason except extremists trying to control women's bodies, now the options for healthcare are not available in the same way to women. And we're seeing the consequences of it. And this is very important that women's rights are taken as healthcare rights. There's a lot of enthusiasm for it. You see this amendment is on the ballot. It's showing that people on both sides of the aisle want to be able to use their voice and their vote to make sure that we have a future that is less restrictive, that there's more freedom, and people like my daughter who's 2.5 and can grow up in a better world. So that's top of mind. But then we have the economy. People are really struggling right now. They have 2 and 3 jobs. They can't make ends meet. They have to choose between, you know, food, gas. They're calling me, myself, a school board member, to see whether we have jobs, whether we're hiring. It's a struggle right now to make ends meet. And
so how do we address it?
Yeah, we have to absolutely strengthen and bolster the middle class. So for starters, I will be actually voting for bringing resources down to Miami. If it were up to Maria Salazar, we would not have the type of investments in Miami that we do have with her voting against us.
But wait a second. As you saw, we had her on this show once talking about that very issue where she often votes against pieces of legislation, then goes to these groups and hands them a big check with her name on it as if she voted for it, whether it was the infrastructure bill or the Inflation Reduction Act, all which also had major climate change legislation within it.
That's right.
So you're saying that if you're going to vote, if you're going to take credit for these things, you should be voting for them, and she's not voting for them. You would be voting for those types of things?
Absolutely. I'm going to be voting for legislation to pass bills that are going to help our families get ahead in life. That means every parent that wants to work, wants to join the workforce, that they have access to high quality child care, that they can go and be a part of this economy and bolster. We also need to bring back that child care tax credit relief, putting money in families' pockets that they can use for everything that they need to get their children ahead. We want to make sure that we are just strengthening the middle class and that we're bringing high-paying jobs. The CHIPS and Science Act that Salazar voted against brought technology hubs, climate centers here to Miami, where we can be at the forefront of some of the issues that are coming across, and we just have to absolutely be providing people the resources they need.
I only have about 30 seconds left. You know, your race is a tough one. You know, you're not getting a lot of help from the National Democratic Party. Do you wish they were doing more to support you in this race?
Oh, listen, we're very excited. It's a 50-50 district. People are rejecting the type of extremism that Maria Salazar has to offer. We're ready to go. I've seen my volunteer base triple. We had a strong showing in the primary. I already represent parts of this district. We are ready to win, and people are ready to retire Salazar and her MAGA extremism that does not represent our 50-50 district, our moderate district, and I'm ready to lead on day one.
All right, Lucia Baez-Geller, I'm sure we'll be talking more between now and November, and hopefully a debate.
I'll see you at
right
the
here.
debate.
We'll see. All right, we'll be right back after the break.